The crowd was enormous. Men, women, children, people from every village, every town nearby had followed Jesus. Some came out of curiosity, some out of desperation, some out of faith. They gathered on the hillside overlooking the Sea of Galilee, waiting, wondering, hoping to hear something that would change their lives. And then, Jesus sat down. In that culture, when a teacher sat, it meant something important was about to be spoken. The crowd leaned forward. The breeze grew still, and every ear was ready. His voice rang out, not harsh, not forceful, but filled with authority and love. The words he spoke that day would echo through centuries. He began with blessings, words that turned the world's ideas upside down. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The people listened in awe. These were not words about power, wealth, or status. No, he was blessing the broken, the humble, the grieving, the merciful, the pure in heart. He was saying that in God's kingdom, greatness looks very different from the world's definition. But Jesus did not stop there. He looked at the crowd and said something shocking. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Let your light shine before others. The ordinary people, the ones who felt overlooked and forgotten, suddenly heard that they had a purpose, that their lives mattered, that they were chosen to shine. They went deeper. He spoke about anger, about forgiveness, about love. You have heard it said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. The crowd gasped. Love your enemies, pray for those who hurt you. These words were unlike anything they had ever heard before. It was not just a set of rules, it was a transformation of the heart. Then came the prayer that would become the most famous prayer in history, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. For the first time, the people realized they could speak to God as a father, not as a distant ruler, not as an unreachable deity, but as a loving father who cared for every detail of their lives. He also spoke about worry and fear. Do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. In those words, farmers, widows, fishermen, all who struggled with daily survival found hope. They learned that God saw them, God provided for them, and they did not need to live in constant fear. By the time Jesus finished, the hillside was silent. Not a single person moved. His words had pierced their souls, challenged their thinking, and awakened their hearts. The Sermon on the Mount was not just teaching, it was a revolution. It called people to live differently, to love differently, to see life through God's eyes. And though the crowd eventually went home, his words never left them. They carried those teachings into their homes, their villages, their futures, and today, more than 2,000 years later, those same words are still alive. They continue to challenge us, inspire us, and remind us of one eternal truth, that God's kingdom is not built on power or pride, but on humility, love, mercy, and faith. So the question is, if you had been there on that mountain, sitting among the crowd, hearing those words for the first time, how would you have responded? Would you have walked away unchanged? Or would you have chosen to let his words transform your life?